my level, up to Jay-Z's level, up to LeBron's level. Not easy. It's not easy for me, for Jay, for Oprah. They still.
Hey, Oprah Winfrey and TD Jakes set the record straight about them having relations with Diddy. So basically at a panel in Houston, they both said that they had nothing to do with any of the freak-offs. And Oprah said she has never been to any type of party with Diddy. And TD Jakes said he stopped by Diddy's house on his birthday for 30 minutes. And after that, he just left. I'll show you that footage in a little bit. But Rick Ross's baby mama, Tia Kemp, decided to react to Oprah and TD Jakes denying the freak-offs. And when I tell you she a fool, she a damn fool.
Oprah and TD Jakes did not go into Diddy parties. I stopped by Puffy's house for 30 minutes to say happy birthday. Out of that came a love affair and all that. Now they all gonna say, but we saw y'all there. Not TD Jakes. Don't you dare sit here and lie. At them Diddy parties, I went to one Diddy party. And it was a New Year's, was it New Year's or Christmas party? One or the other. One year, like 2007 or something like that, who knows? But I ain't see no freaky stuff and I wasn't involved in no freaky stuff. But yeah, I done been to one. I already showed y'all the pictures before. I got them in there in the garage in the container. So don't start with me.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen the video of Oprah Winfrey and TD Jakes denying it, take a look at this.
I have never been near a puff party. Never been near.
Listen to the people clapping though. Your ass lying. Maybe she didn't understand the question. Or if this was a question asked, or like, I ain't saying freak off. I'm saying a party. She done been to a party. This is crazy.
And anybody who knows me knows if there is a party, I'm the first one out.
Right.
I'm the first one out.
Everybody say that.
I stopped by Puppy's house for 30 minutes to say happy birthday to him during the day at 2 o'clock with staff people. And out of that came a love affair and all kinds of stuff that I have never seen.
You too?
Yes. Now I'm almost 70 years old. What do I look like? And I am a grandfather. What do I look like?
A lot of people don't know that Bishop TD Jakes stepped down from the Potter's House megachurch in April after the Diddy accusations surfaced. Then a bunch of YouTube conspiracy videos started coming out, which led him eventually being subpoenaed by the courts. And then not only that, earlier this month, one of Diddy's freak-off partners was saying that Diddy would love sharing his list of favorite sermons with her, and some of them would be from TD Jakes. But then when I go back and start thinking about what Oprah Winfrey said, that she ain't never been to a Diddy party, It confuses me, because look at this. Like, you ain't never been to a Diddy party, but she's best friends with everybody that went down, from Harvey Weinstein to Bill Cosby to Russell Simmons. I mean, these is literally photos of her attending a Diddy party.
Right
bro,
there.
That's a Diddy party. Like, it's impossible for me to believe that she didn't know none of this stuff. But after doing some digging and research, man, you got to check out this secret link that P. Diddy has with Oprah Winfrey. It's crazy.
Like most insane stories do, quietly. No viral headline, no trending topic. Just a weird article from late 2024 that barely made a ripple. It mentioned this police chief, John Pelletier, a name nobody had on their radar. But now, this guy is in the eye of a storm, and Oprah Winfrey, here's where it gets weird. That obscure article, it casually claimed that John Pelletier had transporting connections to both Diddy and Oprah. That's already suspicious. What does that even mean? Transporting what? People, money, secrets?
Hey,
it was vague.
You name
Too
it.
vague to be taken seriously at the time. But a few months later, boom! a lawsuit drops, a heavy one. Ashley Parham steps forward with allegations so dark they read like a horoscope. Shows up in the middle of it all. John freaking Pelletier. This guy wasn't just a name in the paperwork. He's listed as one of the key people who helped cover it all up. According to the lawsuit, he posed as a California sheriff to silence Ashley Parham's report back in 2018. Problem is, he wasn't even working in California. He was stationed in Las Vegas. Yet somehow, he shows up, talks her down, and allegedly helps sweep everything under the rug. And this isn't a one-time coincidence. You remember the Las Vegas shooting in 2017? 58 people dead, hundreds injured. It was a nightmare. John Pelletier was there too, not just present. He was the incident commander, the guy in charge of the entire police response. He made the decisions. What footage got released, what didn't. Which narrative made the news and which ones didn't. Witnesses said there were multiple shooters. Officially, just one. Footage vanished, redacted, scrubbed. And right at the center, Pelletier. Then fast forward to 2023. Maui wildfires. A tragedy that made no sense from the beginning. Roads blocked with zero warning. Residents trapped. Barricades stopping. People from escaping literal flames, journalists barred, locals silenced. Guess who was on the mic, delivering polished press conferences while bodies were being pulled from the ashes? Yep, John Pelletier. 3 catastrophic events, 3 different years, and somehow, some way, this man is always right in the thick of it. Always calm, always in charge, always walking away clean. But now things are starting to crack because this time his name is in black and white on federal court documents. No speculation, no theory, just allegations that he impersonated a sheriff, covered up a violent crime, and might have even been physically involved in moving victims. Now, here's where Oprah enters the picture. That same article from 2024 that linked Pelletier to Diddy, it also said he was working for Oprah. Again, no details, just this eerie suggestion that he was a middleman for both.
Yo, that's out of control. Like, I don't know what to do. What do you guys think? Do you think that Oprah has ties to anything or know anything from what's going on? Because like I showed you a picture before, look at all these guys that she's been friends with, and every single last one of them has had some type of assault allegation, it's just crazy. Yeah, but let us know what you think. Will Oprah eventually be revealed, or you think she ain't got nothing to worry about and all that is just pure cap? Let us know what you think.
Think she's too.
Showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul, it reads, when you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution.
A lot of people in Hollywood were probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on.
Diddy's reign is obviously over, but there's another billionaire that might go down with him. And it's not Jay-Z, but Oprah. There have been rumors for years about how Oprah is not what she seems, and that there's something sinister behind that loving mask. And this watershed moment might just be her end as well. First, let's take a look at why people think Oprah's not all she seems chalked up to be.
I don't know if they're going to mention it here, so I'm going to say it here because they were talking about like the kids in Africa. You know, it was something going on with one of the, I don't know if it was like one of the staff members there had did something with one of the kids. So it gets deep, y'all. It really does.
For one, even apart from any major accusations, she's been alleged to be a bully who isn't quite as nice as she tries to seem. For one, people were angry at her after an interview with the Olsen twins resurfaced, where she was seen acting very invasive and unsympathetic, especially considering they were just teenagers.
Yeah, you know, people are
family on her show without consultation. And then comes the most problematic thing of all, and the part that actually may tie her to Diddy is her connection to Harvey Weinstein. While she was quick to give an Oscars speech and speak up about women facing sexual assault, people pointed out that she had been a frequent collaborator of Weinstein for years and never spoke up. It's hard to believe she never saw anything, and she even avoided.
It's like, so it's because, you know, with all this stuff coming out and they saying like these names or to be released, it would not shock me if her name is in there at all. Just looking at these pictures here, man, like, you know, they know what goes down in the industry. you know. So for you to be taking a picture with this man is like, just seeing that shot right there is like just crazy.
Publicly supported victims' assault in the wake of numerous allegations against Harvey Weinstein, singer Seal Instagrammed this meme, showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul. It reads, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution." While Weinstein maintains his innocence, Seal hasn't commented further, and Oprah has not responded.
Actress and one of the first people to speak up about Weinstein also ripped into Oprah and called her out for abandoning victims of sexual abuse and called her as fake as they come.
So Rose McGowan has put Oprah on blast. Rose recently called out Oprah on Twitter over her past associations with some controversial men. Rose wrote, quote, "From being pals with Harvey Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons' victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come." And just to refresh your memory, music producer Russell Simmons has been accused by at least 15 women. Last year, Oprah pulled out of a documentary that's highlighting their stories because she and the filmmakers apparently did not see eye to eye. Oprah had said that she did not know assault accusations from women, including Rose, only that she had heard he was a bully.
Now, to refresh your memory, Kevin Hart is an old friend of Diddy. He's also very close to both Oprah and Tyler Perry, even once saying that Oprah loves him more than anyone else in the world. It's obvious that all of them probably know each other. Hart was even in the now infamous Usher video, where Diddy said he and the singer fight over Frosted Flakes.
In my opinion, one of the ones that affects me the most is Justin Bieber.
Do you have the Kevin Hart one?
Which is odd, Pat, because he gets caught saying that he would wake up next to him and then he changes it and says we would fight off over the Frosted Flakes. Even Kevin Hart is uncomfortable because you're admitting that you were sleeping next to a freaking child. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing all these stories and people just laugh about it. We giggle like, this is it right here.
Yeah.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed.
Could get her in trouble.
I was like, and then I don't know if you've had this, but I've had people throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And what? Just you've been off. Yeah. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah. That was my way of cueing you. Like, it's open dialogue.
Yeah. You want me to keep talking about it?
By all means, we can keep talking about anything. But
one thing's for sure, people who used to attend his wild parties are probably worried.
Millions of dollars to do what? Right? Come on now. Come on now.
Right now, and could be questioned by the feds.
But back to his parties.
I said, everybody, come on over to the house.
Now, Oprah has managed to stay safe. But how long will this last? With Kevin Hart already thrown into the mix, will we soon see Oprah's reality being exposed once and for all? Let us know what you think in the comments. That's it for now. For more
gravel voice and a 1,000-yard stare. Even his beefs weren't for a show. Jay-Z and Drake know that. X didn't like Drake's voice, his walk, or his haircut. Nothing about him, he once said. I don't like anything about Drake.
What about Drake? You like Drake?
No. My man.
He didn't even say line even unintentionally why Oprah targeted him. But it was line even unintentionally, and you were on the list. So when Oprah and Ayanla tried to reach him, try to counsel him and coach him, they were walking into the minefield barefoot. The real agenda, why Oprah targeted him. But it was never just about DMX, not really. That interview, that clip, that tense, explosive moment on Ayanla Fix My Life was just the final act in a much longer play. Because if you trace it back enough, peel away the applause, the studio lights, the empire that Oprah built brick by brick, what you'll find is a history, a pattern, one that didn't begin with Earl Simmons, but absolutely cornered him. Oprah Winfrey had always known how to tell a story. She knew the power of framing, of context, of selecting who gets to speak, and more importantly, who gets heard. So when she started taking aim at hip-hop, it wasn't clumsy or careless. It was calculated and intentional. And for many watching, it felt personal. DMX wasn't the first. Long before him, Oprah had made it clear. She didn't care much for hip-hop's rawest voices. She criticized it openly, publicly, in interviews, panel discussions, and carefully curated episodes. She called the genre out for promoting violence, for degrading women, for poisoning young minds. Misogyny, chaos, criminality. That was her picture of rap.
You know, a lot of that isn't wrong, but at the same time, you know, when she talk about like how hip hop degrades women, but you're friends with Harvey Weinstein, you know, make it make sense.
Music. Never mind the context, never mind the pain that birthed the poetry, the trauma in the bars, the history in the hooks. To Oprah, it was noise, dangerous noise, and only a select few were allowed to rise above it. So yes, she welcomed Jay-Z with a smile, with a playful banter and freestyle rhymes on her couch.
I wasn't good at double dutch either. It's not. I could never get the double dutch thing.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Little boy from Brooklyn, made it from the sty. Girl out the south, made it to the shots. Okay, I'm freestyling this.
Okay.
That was a rapper she could frame neatly. A man with a suit, a brand, a billion-dollar empire. A Brooklyn hustler turned business mogul with polish. With Oprah, it was always about optics, and Jay fit the picture. But Ludacris, 50 Cent, DMX, that was different. When Ludacris was invited to the Oprah Winfrey Show as a part of the Crash movie cast, he was barely allowed to speak. His verses were scrutinized, his presence reduced. He later admitted he felt ambushed, dismissed before he had a chance to speak his truth.
She cut you off.
Right.
She edited out what you had to say.
I remember this.
Okay.
That's what it came down to. That was the only time I was on Oprah.
50 Cent echoed that same sentiment when he questioned why Oprah, who he once admired, seemed to go out of her way to shame and scold rappers who looked like him, but stayed silent on the sins of the powerful white men.
I didn't have anything against Oprah.
You just called her.
I'm gonna tell you why.
You named your dog Oprah, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Dad?
Look.
I remember that.
No, look. Every time she made a mention to hip hop culture, it was something that was wrong with it.
The inconsistency was deafening. And then came DMX, a man already carrying the weight of addiction, grief, and a system that chewed him up early. The streets didn't give him much room to breathe, and when he finally did speak, through barking lyrics and confessional interviews, it was raw, too raw. So when Oprah's OWN network brought him into the spotlight under the guise of healing, many already felt uneasy because this wasn't just about help, this was about performance. DMX was cast not as a man to be understood, but a problem to be fixed. And Iyanla Vanzant, acting as Oprah's proxy, wasn't there to listen, she was there to discipline. It was a strange kind of theater. The world watched as DMX, cornered and triggered, lashed out. She asked questions that weren't questions. She pushed, he pushed back, and the headlines wrote themselves. DMX explodes on Iyanla. Another black man out of control.
Well, it wasn't even about protecting myself. I endured the...
Presented to the world as broken, angry, resistant to healing. But who was really in control of the narrative? Because at its core, this wasn't about helping DMX. It was about showing him as the opposite of what Oprah had always championed. Control, dignity, refinement. She'd built her legacy on transforming lives, but only the kind of lives that could be neatly folded into respectability. DMX was jagged. He didn't apologize for who he wasn't palatable, and in the eyes of respectability, politics has always haunted black success. The unspoken rule that you must be twice as good, half as loud, and never too real. Oprah's world rewarded those who learned to code switch, who fit into the mold of corporate success, spiritual balance, articulate composure. But that left little space for the DMXs of the world, men who never learned to soften their edges for comfort, men who bled truth even when it was messy. That's why it stung so deeply, because it didn't feel like care, it felt like spectacle. Oprah didn't extend her platform to uplift DMX's humanity, she showcased his struggle, held it under the lights, gave us a man already bruised and asked, what's wrong with him instead of what happened to him? And when people pushed back, when critics said, this isn't fair to hip-hop, that the framing is off, America was a direct response to Oprah's positioning, an attempt to reclaim the conversation, to speak on their terms.
Now it's like a hip-hop convention. When you go to the convention center in Vegas, you see so many booths that have black ownership and a part of...
Later, that tension lingers. People still remember how quickly Oprah jumped to shine a light on allegations against Russell Simmons and Michael Jackson, men who were either cleared or unable to defend themselves, while her silence at Harvey Weinstein remained thunderously loud.
This man has been cleared of any allegations.
period. They investigated the situation. It looked like it wasn't anything at all. But then you have Harvey Weinstein, on the other hand, who is even paying out his victims at this particular time. And Oprah is not doing or highlighting anything about Harvey Weinstein.
The contrast was impossible to ignore. It begged a dangerous question: who gets forgiven and who gets framed? And for many, it confirmed what they'd suspected all along. This wasn't about healing. This was about hierarchy, about control, about who deserves to be saved and who deserves to be displayed. How DMX and other critics responded. That's why in a post-show interview, DMX didn't mince words. He claimed Iyanla went off script, dug into trauma he never agreed to unpack. She was never supposed to bring up the drug addiction like that, he said. She set the whole thing up to make me look bad for ratings. But even in that chaos between the raised voices and tremor, there was something brutally human on display. DMX wasn't playing the victim. He was fighting to be seen as more than one, fighting for dignity. How? He stayed. Not for the cameras, not for Iyanla, for his son. Because buried under all that anger was a love so fierce it scared him.
All I've given you is unconditional love? I'm not gonna lie that. Because either way, I'm fine. I've made peace with it. Yeah.
Other rappers, those who knew the pain of being misunderstood by the media, also spoke out, publicly condemning Oprah and the production team for what they saw as a blatant disrespect to DMX's legacy. For them, this wasn't just about a bad TV episode, it was a betrayal of a man who had been brutally honest through his music about addiction, pain, and survival. To see that honesty weaponized for entertainment felt like a violation. Oprah disrespected DMX, one artist said plainly, his voice echoing the sentiment of many who followed the controversy closely. They pointed to the surprise inclusion of DMX's sons, a moment that had been kept from him until the cameras rolled. To DMX, this was a manipulation of his personal narrative without his consent. That decision sparked outrage among viewers who felt the show crossed a line, exploiting a man's raw pain for drama.
I walk in, I see him, and this is the second day shooting. This after I said, I said, first day, she tricked me. I ain't got time for this. I'm not with this.
Iyanla herself described the shift from healing to spectacle with a heavy heart. The confrontational tone of the episode, marked by her own raised voice and sharp questioning, clashed with DMX's desire for a softer, more respectful dialogue. She admitted later that the episode lost sight of its purpose, becoming an uncomfortable dance between exposure and exploitation. While some criticized DMX's outburst as ungrateful or confrontational, many understood. They saw the pain, the frustration, and the sense of betrayal from a man who'd been through hell and back. The internet, for once, wasn't just consuming the drama, they were questioning the very foundation of it. Was this a genuine attempt to help, or a trap led to humiliate? What was meant to be a moment of DMX's fury, his refusal to fake it, was a message not just to the show, but to the whole world watching. He was broken, yes, but he was never fake. That was the core of the fallout. Raw, uncompromising, and unforgettable. The show tried to shame him, to break him down, and it wasn't done to him, it was done to the show's facade of redemption. In the end, it was revealed that this wasn't redemption TV. It was character assassination dressed up in the language of therapy and healing. But DMX's response flipped.
Oprah Winfrey gave Gayle King $1 million and said, "You can't be around me and be broke. I don't want you to look in my cash register." To be able to find somebody who fights in your weight class without being a competitor is an investment. So when you find authentic people who actually can rejoice without being envious, that's a different kind of peace.
Prince had been preparing for this moment his entire career. What she didn't know? His son was dying, and he would never let her turn that tragedy into content.
What?
This is how one man's silence exposed the most dangerous woman in the media. By 1996, Oprah Winfrey had perfected the art of celebrity destruction disguised as empathy. Her 1993 ambush of Michael Jackson at Neverland Ranch had drawn 90 million viewers. Not because she celebrated his genius, but because she systematically dismantled his dignity on live television. She pressed him about his changing appearance, cornered him about his relationships with children, and turned what should have been an artistic celebration into a public interrogation. Michael had trusted her. He opened his home, shared his vulnerabilities. tried to explain himself to a world that had already decided he was guilty of something. The result? America didn't see a misunderstood genius. They saw a man who couldn't defend himself against perfectly crafted questions designed to make him look suspicious. Prince had watched that massacre unfold.
That's what they do.
He had seen how Oprah's team edited Michael's words, twisted his attempts at honesty, and turned every moment of vulnerability into ammunition for future attacks. When Michael called him afterward, devastated by the betrayal, Prince made a promise. Never again. Never let them in. Now it was Prince's turn to sit in Oprah's crosshairs.
Just like Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, people like that change their name. And some people pick names that are hard to pronounce. It just so happens I picked one that you can pronounce.
This wasn't just about a name change. It was about power. By making his identity literally unpronounceable, Prince had created the perfect metaphor for his relationship with the media. You couldn't possess what you couldn't even say. The symbol represented something beyond corporate ownership, beyond interviews, beyond the machinery of fame itself. Oprah's team had spent months negotiating this interview. Prince rarely did television, and when he did, he controlled every aspect. The location, the questions, the format.
Smart.
Paisley Park, his 65,000 square foot compound in suburban Minneapolis, would be the setting. This wasn't just Prince's home and studio. It was his fortress, designed to keep the outside world at arm's length while he created without interference. From the moment the cameras rolled, the dynamic was clear. Oprah, used to guests who craved her approval and platform, found herself face to face with someone who had spent his entire career rejecting exactly what she represented. The commodification of private pain for public consumption. Prince had learned long ago that the media's hunger was insatiable, and the only way to survive was to feed it just enough to keep it from devouring you completely. The stage was set for a battle between two masters of their craft, one who made her living extracting truth, and another who had built his legend on beautiful mysteries that could never be solved. Oprah came armed with the same playbook that had worked on every other celebrity for over a decade. She would probe the weird behavior, dissect the controversial image, and force explanations until the real person emerged from behind the facade. With Prince, she thought she had the perfect target, a man who had spent years cultivating an image so strange that surely he would crack under the right pressure. A lot of people think the artist formerly known as Prince is flat out weird, she declared, expecting the defensive response that would give her the opening she needed.
I understand everything's relative, not weird to me.
Yeah.
Probably weird.
And you're living in Minneapolis, of all places.
See?
You will always live here? Why?
It's so cold, it keeps the bad people out.
Prince had just delivered a masterclass in turning defense into offense. First, he acknowledged that weird.
It's funny because, like, she's saying you've always lived in Minneapolis and asking him why. Because, you know, most people, you know, with the whole Hollywood situation, that's one of the first things they do is move to Hollywood, you know, and he's like, I'm trying to stay away. Not saying he didn't have another house there to visit, but home is Minneapolis, and a lot of people relocate, you know. It's like, this is where I'm from, damn it.
Was relative. Then when Oprah made the crack about Minneapolis, he didn't get defensive. He flipped it completely. It's so cold it keeps the bad people out. The implication was crystal clear. Maybe the problem wasn't him being weird in Minneapolis. Maybe the problem was all the bad people everywhere else who couldn't handle the cold. He had just insulted everyone outside of Minneapolis while making it sound like a joke. Oprah tried another angle, going for the emotional core that had broken down so many other celebrities. Once again, Prince had neutralized her attack by putting it in context. A few asexual songs out of 1,000? That wasn't scandal. That was mathematics.
He's so calm, man.
He wasn't ashamed of his past because he saw it as part of a much larger artistic journey. Oprah found herself nodding along instead of pressing harder. But she had one more weapon in her arsenal, the direct question that had forced confessions from everyone from celebrities to presidents. "What do you most want people to know about you?" she asked, leaning forward with the intensity that had made her famous.
Okay, so people think you're weird, they think you're strange. What do you want them to know?
The music.
Prince had just given her nothing while making it sound like something. If people wanted to think he was strange, fine. Their opinion wasn't his problem. Every answer was a masterclass in deflection without defensiveness.
Yeah.
When Oprah pressed about his creative process, hoping to find some psychological insight, Prince responded by literally demonstrating it. He walked to his piano and started playing, turning her interview into his performance space. She had asked for explanations. He gave her music instead. The pattern was becoming clear. Prince wasn't playing defense, he was playing an entirely different game.
Yeah.
While Oprah was trying to excavate his psyche, he was showcasing his artistry. While she was probing for vulnerability, he was demonstrating invulnerability. He was giving her a show while denying her the story she actually wanted, and doing it so smoothly that she couldn't even call him out for it without looking foolish.
Yeah.
The interview's turning point came when Oprah shifted from exploring Prince's artistic mystique to probing his most painful private reality.
Oh, man.
Reports had circulated that Prince and Mate's newborn son had been born with serious health complications. For any other celebrity, this would have been exactly the kind of humanizing revelation that defined great television. For Prince, it was a line in the sand. What happened next revealed the fundamental difference between these two media titans. Oprah saw tragedy as content, something to be explored, contextualized, and ultimately used to create connection with the audience. Prince saw it as sacred, something to be protected from the very machinery that Oprah represented.
What is the status of your baby, your pregnancy,
Well, our family exists.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
we're just
the way she looked right at him, I'm telling you, man, this brother was a genius, and she be probing, man, trying to get you at your most vulnerable point so she can capitalize off that. Hell, I didn't even know Prince had any kids. You know what I mean? This is news to me.
Getting it. And we got many kids to have. Long way to go.
This was a direct challenge to the entire gossip industry that Oprah, for all her protestations about meaningful conversation, was ultimately part of. Prince was essentially telling America's most powerful interviewer that her questions, her platform, and her audience's curiosity were irrelevant to what actually mattered. But Oprah wasn't used to being dismissed. Her brand was built on breaking down barriers, getting celebrities to open up, creating those breakthrough moments that became cultural touchstones. She had made Michael Jackson cry. She had gotten Tom Cruise to jump on her couch. She had convinced countless celebrities that her couch was a safe space for confession. Prince wasn't buying it. Every follow-up question about the baby was met with the same gentle but absolute resistance. He wasn't rude, wasn't defensive, wasn't angry. He was simply immovable. The more Oprah pushed, the more it became clear that she was encountering something she rarely faced: a celebrity who truly didn't need what she was offering. The dynamic exposed something crucial about celebrity culture in the 1990s. Most stars, no matter how successful, still craved mainstream acceptance and media validation. They needed Oprah's platform to reach middle America, needed her blessing to be seen as more than just entertainers. Prince had already rejected that entire system. Personal tragedy. Prince could deflect because he wasn't dependent on her goodwill for his career survival. He had already paid the price for artistic independence through his battles with Warner Brothers. The subtext of their exchange was profound. Oprah represented the democratization of celebrity, The idea that fame came with obligations to share yourself completely with the public. Despite her platform becoming even more influential in subsequent years. This wasn't coincidence. It was a conscious choice by an artist who had learned something crucial about the cost of mainstream media engagement. In the years following the interview, the full tragedy of Prince and Mate's situation became clear. Their son, Amir, had been born with Pfeiffer syndrome, a rare genetic condition affecting skull and limb development. The baby lived for only 6 days before succumbing to the complications. The grief was devastating for both parents, ultimately contributing to the end of their marriage. What Oprah didn't know was that Prince had already watched her destroy someone he cared about. 3 years earlier, she had ambushed Michael Jackson at Neverland Ranch in what became television's most watched character assassination. Prince had seen how she cornered Michael about his changing appearance, pressed him about his relationships with children, and turned what should have been a celebration of his artistry into a spectacle of humiliation. This interview was meant to clear up long-standing rumors about Michael, such as him wanting to become white, rumors about plastic surgery, and bizarre claims like him buying the remains of the Elephant Man, or having a telepathic monkey. However, instead of helping his image, Oprah's approach raised eyebrows. She asked intrusive questions.
I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a virgin?
How could you ask me that question?
I'm
I totally forgot that she asked him that question. My goodness. Like, you literally got to sit with your team and go and be like, these are the questions we're going to ask.
I just want to know. I want to know.
I'm a gentleman.
Oprah's questions often felt accusatory, and she even pressed him on his love life and friendships with children, hinting that there might be something inappropriate. Her line of questioning made fans and even his family believe she had an agenda to tarnish his reputation. Prince had learned from Michael's mistake. When Oprah's team came calling, they found an artist who had already built his defenses. The Emancipation album wasn't just about escaping Warner Brothers. It was about escaping the entire system that had turned his friend into tabloid fodder. Every song on those 3 discs was a declaration. You can't own what you can't understand. But there was something else couldn't have known. Behind Prince's calm deflections lay the most devastating secret any parent could carry. His son, Amir, had been born with Pfeiffer syndrome just weeks before this interview. The baby was fighting for his life, and Prince knew the odds weren't good. 6 days after birth, that tiny heartbeat he had recorded for his music would fall silent forever. Yet there he sat, perfectly composed, protecting that tragedy from becoming content for daytime television. He had watched what happened when celebrities let Oprah into their pain. She didn't heal, she harvested. She didn't help, she exposed. Every tear became a clip. Every confession became a headline. Every moment of vulnerability became property of the machine. Prince remembered Michael calling him after the Neverland interview, devastated by how it had been edited, how his words had been twisted, how his attempts to explain himself had only made things worse. Never again, Michael had whispered. Never let them in. Prince had listened. Now, as Oprah probed for details about his family, he was putting that lesson into practice. The tragedy was unfolding in real time. While cameras rolled at Paisley Park, Prince's son was dying in a hospital room that would never see a documentary crew. The grief that would eventually destroy his marriage to Mate was being carefully contained, protected from the very woman who had built her empire on mining other people's suffering for primetime gold. The story didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. In fact, Prince's 1996 masterclass in media resistance became a blueprint that would haunt Oprah for decades to come.
Look, shout out to him. Rest in peace to him and Michael. That's what I say. Like, a lot of these people that be doing these interviews, man, they do not have your best interest in heart. They want it to go extremely viral, and it could mess up people, man. Like, and they be probing, man. Like, she really, like, if you watch that Michael Jackson interview, she really backed him into a corner. Prince was well prepared. Sheesh, man. It's just crazy to think, like, that these people, you know, especially like Oprah, if you really think about all the people that she has interviewed, all the people she seems to be close with, it gets really dark, man. And then you bring up that Hawaii situation. Hey, appreciate y'all coming over and watching. I hope a lot of people have taken the Prince route, you know. I know, like, in sports, because the media be trying to get to people in sports, and players be getting fined because they be remembering, like, oh, you that same guy that was saying that stuff. Yeah. You got to get a good team around you, man. Everybody don't deserve your time and energy. Remember that. All right. Peace out. Thanks for watching.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
What if one of the wildest minds in Hollywood just dropped a bombshell that ties together three of the biggest icons in entertainment history in one of the biggest scandals of all time? Jim Carrey, yes. The guy who made us laugh till we cried has allegedly spilled some jaw-dropping insight about why Oprah Winfrey and Sean Combs, aka Diddy, were secretly terrified of none other than Michael Jackson. This isn't your typical celebrity gossip. It's a tangled web of power, paranoia, and the king of pop's untouchable aura.
You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lie.
We're peeling back the layers of this alleged revelation, all for entertainment's sake, because let's be honest, nothing's confirmed, but everything's intriguing. So let's jump into this roller coaster of a story and see where it takes us. Jim Carrey is no stranger to speaking his mind. The man who brought us Ace Ventura and The Mask has spent recent years getting real, ditching the spotlight for painting and dropping truth bombs about fame. According to this supposed insider scoop, Jim has been reflecting on his own brushes with the elite, and Michael Jackson's name has come up in a big way. He allegedly claims that both Oprah and Diddy, titans in their own right, lived in awe and unease around Michael, not because of his moonwalk or his glove, but because of what he represented, a cultural juggernaut who could sway the world, and maybe knew too much. Let's start with Michael. The guy was a phenomenon, selling out stadiums, rewriting music history, and living a life so surreal that it's still dissected decades later. By the 90s, he was untouchable, a global force with a mystique that made him more myth than man. Jim, who crossed paths with Michael during Hollywood's golden haze, reportedly said that Michael had an energy that rattled people, not just fans. Power players, too. Oprah, the media queen, and Diddy, the rising rap mogul, were allegedly among those who felt it. But why were they afraid of him? What could the guy singing Billie Jean possibly hold over them? Oprah's part in this is juicy. She built an empire on connection, interviews that bared souls and made her a household name. She sat down with Michael in 1993 at Neverland, a primetime special that pulled 90 million viewers. It was huge. Michael opening up about his skin, his childhood, and his solitude.
Just recently, there was a story, and I know one of your attorneys held a news conference. There was a story about you wanting to have a little white boy play you in a Pepsi commercial.
That is so. That's the most ridiculous, horrifying story I've ever heard. It's crazy. I mean, why? Number one, it's my face as a child in the commercial. Me when I was little. Why would I want a white child to play me? I'm a black American. I'm proud to be a black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. I have a lot of pride in who I am and dignity. That's like you wanting an Oriental person to play you as a child. Does that make sense?
No.
So please, people, stop believing these
Michael,
horrifying
then
stories.
let's go to the thing that is most discussed about you, I think, is the fact that the color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger.
Yes.
And so I think it has caused a great deal of speculation and controversy as to what you have done or are doing. Are you bleaching your skin? And is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
Okay, number one, as I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have never seen it. I don't know what it is.
Well, they used to have those products growing up. I used to hear, always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons.
Okay, number one, this is the situation.
Yes.
I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help. Okay, but when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller, around Off the Wall Thriller.
And what did you think? I mean,
it's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad. I don't want to go into my medical history because that's something that's private, but that's the situation here. So please, when people see something like that.
I just want to get this straight.
Yeah.
You are not taking anything to change the color of your skin.
Oh God, no.
You did not purposely.
We're trying to control it, and using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin, and I have to even out my skin. But you know what's funny? Why is that so important? You know, that's not important to me. I'm a great fan of art. I love Michelangelo. If I had a chance to talk to him or read about him, I would want to know about what inspired him to become who he is, the anatomy of his craftsmanship, not about who he went out with last night or why he decided to sit out in the sun so long. What's wrong with, I mean, that's what's important.
Yeah, we weren't wealthy, but we weren't poor. My father always prepared for the family, as well as my mother. Always wonderful. And that's very important. They made sure we, got the right things for ourselves. Strong parents, I think, are very important, especially in our situation.
Well, on stage for me was home. I was most comfortable, and still most comfortable, on stage. But once I got off stage, I was very sad.
Really?
Yes.
And sad from the beginning? Sad since it first started, since
lonely, sad, having to face with popularity and all of that.
But Jim supposedly hinted that there was tension beneath the smiles. Oprah allegedly saw Michael as a wild card. To her, he was someone that she couldn't fully read or control. His cryptic vibe and his refusal to play by anyone's rules allegedly spooked her.
Out of singing, wait.
Yeah. And when you are, for instance, when we were here before, you know what? I mean, all the things ever printed in the tabloid, the only things ever been true is when they said I couldn't dance. When we were here the last time shooting the commercial, you were like in between shots, running off, conceiving the dance, choreographing the dance. You were up all night dancing.
She thrived on transparency, but Michael thrived on mystery. It was a clash of titans, right there. Then there's Diddy. Back in the 90s, he was climbing fast. Bad Boy Records was exploding, Biggie was king, and Diddy was the maestro. But Michael was already a legend. They moved in overlapping circles. Award shows, parties, the whole scene. Jim allegedly says that Diddy admired Michael, but also saw him as a threat.
We're listening to Mike right now. Obviously, this is a really sad time right now, but we're celebrating his life. Your thoughts right now on the situation and the timing of this tragedy?
Yeah, I mean, he's just somebody that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I'll always love and cherish.
Not musically, Diddy wasn't trying to outsing him, but in terms of clout. Michael's influence was massive, and Diddy couldn't reach those heights. The insider twist? Jim claims that Diddy worried that Michael knew secrets, industry dirt, maybe even personal stuff that could derail anyone's rise. This is all alleged, of course, but it paints a picture. So what's Jim's angle here? He's not exactly buddies with Oprah or Diddy these days. He's gone full philosopher, railing against Hollywood's phoniness and calling out egos left and right. Michael, to Jim, was a kindred spirit, a genius chewed up by fame. This supposed reveal might be Jim projecting, using Michael's legacy to jab at the power structures he's soured on. Or maybe he's just stirring the pot, knowing that we'll lap it up. Either way, he's allegedly framing Oprah and Diddy as players who feared Michael's unpredictability and his knack for staying one step ahead. Let's dig into Oprah's side. That 1993 interview wasn't her only Michael moment. She also covered his trials, his passing, and even aired that controversial doc later on. Publicly, she was respectful but detached. Privately, Jim's alleged take is that she saw Michael as a loose cannon. His wealth, his fan base, his ability to shift narratives. It's like he held a mirror to her own power. But wilder, if he ever turned on her or anyone, it'd be chaos. No proof, just vibes. But imagine Oprah, queen of control, sweating over a guy who lived in a theme park with a chimp. Diddy's fear, according to Jim, was more primal. He was building an empire when Michael was already a dynasty. Think about it. Diddy's parties were legendary, but Michael's life was the party. Extravagant, bizarre, and untamed. Jim supposedly says that Diddy picked up on whispers. Michael's ties to moguls, his quiet chats with the elite. Did Michael have leverage? Did he have dirt on deals? Maybe even on Diddy's early hustle? It's a stretch, but not impossible. Diddy has always played the game smart, but Michael didn't play it at all. That alone could have rattled him. Now, Jim is not pulling this out of thin air. He and Michael had history. They met at events and shared laughs. Jim even mimicked Michael's moves in sketches. He's called Michael a martyr before, a guy crushed by scrutiny. This alleged reveal builds on that. Jim painting Michael as a figure so towering that even giants like Oprah and Diddy flinched. But here's the catch. There are no recordings or quotes proving any of this. We just have so-called sources saying that Jim said all this. It could all just be a fever dream from a fan forum, or a kernel of truth from a man who's done with the facade. The why matters. Michael's power wasn't just fame, it was perception. He could drop an album and shift culture overnight. Oprah ruled TV, Diddy ruled hip-hop, but Michael, he ruled hearts and headlines. Jim's alleged take is that they feared his unpredictability and his knack for dodging the boxes that they'd mastered. Oprah couldn't package him, and Diddy couldn't outshine him. And if Michael knew things, secrets from the 80s and 90s when the industry was a Wild West, well, that's a loaded card to hold. Skeptics will scoff. Oprah is too savvy to fear anyone. She's face down worse. And Diddy? He's weathered scandals that'd sink most. Michael was eccentric, sure, but a threat? Maybe Jim's romanticizing a ghost. Michael has been gone since 2009, leaving a legacy ripe for myth-making. Oprah's empire has evolved, and Diddy is now fighting legal battles that dwarf old rivalries. This fear could be hindsight spice from a guy who loves a good story. No receipts, just vibes. Perfect for a late-night scroll. But let's entertain it. Picture the 90s. Michael is at his peak, Oprah is ascending, and Diddy is hungry. MJ's got the world in his palm. Fans who'd riot for him. Cash to burn, and a voice that cuts through noise. Oprah is building trust, while Diddy is building cred.
Now, Oprah and Diddy are actually friends, as they've been spotted together plenty of times. They've attended charity events, been spotted at award shows, at Diddy's infamous parties, and Oprah even had him as a guest on her talk show back in the day. But when he was a guest, it was just, well,
Michael's chaos. Like his lawsuits and all the rumors, only amplifies his pull. If he ever weaponized that, or even hinted that he might, it'd shake anyone's game. Jim's alleged spin? They didn't just fear him, they feared what he could undo. The public is split. X posts range from Jim spilling real tea to he's lost it. Fans love a conspiracy. Michael as the puppet master, Oprah and Diddy as pawns.
Now, it seems like Oprah has a pattern of being friends with some rich and powerful and problematic men, as this is not the first time people have noticed her choice in questionable friends. And with Oprah being as powerful as she is, people have started to question whether she's been directly involved in some of the crimes that have been happening in Hollywood. In 2020, rumors were going around that Oprah's house had been raided and she had been arrested in connection to many crimes. In a tweet though, she responded and said, "Just got a phone call that my name is trending and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true."
Others say that it's all nonsense. Two moguls scared of a pop star? Please, without Jim on record, it's a ghost story. Oprah is not commenting. She's too busy living her best life. Diddy's got bigger fish to fry. Federal charges, not old Michael tales. And Jim? He's painting, smirking, and letting us run with it.
But I felt like that, life is too short. I want to move on. I want to create. I want to, annoy people that are, businessmen that want to take advantage of me.
So where's the truth? maybe nowhere. This is all alleged, all fun. A what if to chew on. Did Oprah and Diddy really fear Michael's shadow? Or is Jim just riffing on legends? Michael's mystique makes it believable. He was that big. Oprah's control, Diddy's ambition, they're human enough to flinch. Jim is the wild card, tossing this grenade and watching it pop. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Did Michael really scare Oprah and Diddy? Or is this just Jim's latest performance? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.
Diddy, Oprah, and Steve Harvey threw a party that night, and you won't believe the important comments, surprising friendships, and disturbing truths that emerged that might drastically change the entertainment industry if you're interested in what really transpired. Oprah Winfrey and Steve Harvey are both well-known members of this exclusive group. Steve has frequently gone to Diddy's industry gatherings throughout the years, which have grown into significant commercial relationships. These get-togethers have evolved into significant status symbols in the entertainment business. Of public curiosity, the notion that these celebrity interactions may be more complex than they initially seem is being closely scrutinized. Video A, recently released video from a part Diddy held, has generated a lot of attention and speculation, especially in view of his ongoing legal troubles. In light of Diddy's recent troubles, this chapter examines the event's details, the well-known attendees, and the potential consequences of the footage. The video was taken during one of Diddy's lavish parties, which are known to draw A-list celebs like Steve Harvey and Oprah Winfrey. However, it is unclear exactly where this specific party was held. These gatherings have long been known for their exclusivity and lavish surroundings, where networking often makes it difficult to discern between social and business ties. Diddy was already juggling a number of legal troubles before this movie came out, including serious charges of trafficking and racketeering. Diddy often hosts his events in upscale venues known for their extravagant decor and celebrity-studded guest lists.
Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry.
The mystery surrounding Sean Diddy Combs' situation has grown as a result of reports that Homeland Security raided a home in Beverly Hills linked to him and public relations. We have seen the positive impacts of celebrity friendship throughout history. Protect individuals during Oprah, Harvey, and Diddy's similar interests. Oprah and Winfrey, Steve Harvey, and Diddy are not only well-known celebrities, they have a complicated web of common interests and commercial ventures that demonstrate how interdependent they are in the entertainment industry. Oprah has projects through her company Harpo Incorporated that extend well beyond her popular talk program. She is involved with a number of media endeavors, including Weight Watchers, True Food Kitchen, and Oli, and she holds a stake in the Oprah Winfrey Network. These investments show Oprah's strategy of collaborating with other well-known people and leveraging her considerable influence to forge solid bonds and expand her brand. Her shrewd approach to the industry is demonstrated by her capacity to build relationships that support her commercial objectives. Steve Harvey, who has his own production company, is another significant element of this dynamic trio. Steve Harvey is a well-known figure throughout the world and hosts several television programs. With endeavors like Revolt TV, his music and entertainment network, as well as lucrative investments in fashion and spirits like Shah Jahan and Saro Vodka, Diddy, on the other hand, has amassed a sizable corporate empire. Oprah and Harvey often interact in their respective professional networks, establishing themselves as mentors and significant media personalities. Their willingness to work together makes them more visible and enables them to use one another's advantages, enhancing their brands. Diddy's entrepreneurial mentality complements Oprah and Harvey's goals, creating a trio of influence that has significant effects on their respective sectors. The collaboration of these three people is demonstrated by their many projects and public appearances, including Diddy's network. Through Revolt TV's programming, Oprah and Steve Harvey have been able to enhance their audience reach and impact in turn. In the quickly evolving media world, partnerships are not only advantageous but also essential to remaining relevant. Their ability to share platforms ensures that they continue to be visible and significant. Often the others intervene personally or through their platforms to provide support when one of them is struggling. For example, Diddy's media contacts and powerful alliances were crucial in influencing public opinion throughout his prior legal issues, underscoring the need of unity in story management. Furthermore, the intricate relationships between celebrities show how influential people handle scandals and uphold their public personas. In Hollywood, the concept of celebrity support for one another is not new. In order to guarantee broad exposure and success, prominent people frequently work together and endorse each other's projects. Oprah and Diddy have collaborated with several other celebrities throughout the years, frequently hosting or going to one another's events. Their ties with other well-known individuals, like as Jay-Z, who is close to Diddy, are strengthened by these appearances in addition to their businesses. Steve Harvey's interactions with talk show hosts and other comedians provide us more evidence of the links between these partnerships.
Welcome everybody to the 9th annual NFL Honors. This is a big one. We're celebrating 100 years. Thank you, thank you.
His current legal and reputational problems. To shield their businesses from potential criticism, Oprah and Harvey could decide to publicly disassociate themselves, particularly if the disputes touch sensitive topics. Alternatively, they could decide to secretly help Diddy, prioritizing the integrity of their network. In the past, Hollywood stars have often stepped out of the shadows to support one another during times of need, a pattern demonstrated by the assistance provided to well-known people such as Harvey Weinstein prior to his public decline. If Oprah and Harvey choose to continue spending time with Diddy in spite of his legal troubles, it may be a sign of a more serious, potentially business connection that outweighs any reputational risks. Celebrities like Oprah, Steve Harvey, and Diddy create alliances through their commercial ventures, media collaborations, and strategic support that enable them to preserve their prominence, influence, and power.
Have provided him with a similar shield from accountability. In recent years, the Me Too movement has exposed the dark side of Hollywood, revealing the widespread abuse and exploitation that has been allowed to flourish for decades. Figures like Weinstein and Epstein have become synonymous with the abuse of power, and now Diddy's name is being dragged into that same conversation. As more information about his alleged involvement in these illicit activities comes to light, many are beginning to question how far this network of abuse extends. The public's reaction: silence, retaliation, and the power of influence. The public's response to the allegations against Diddy and Oprah has been a mix of shock, disbelief, and outrage. Many have called for the entertainment industry to take responsibility for the abuse that has been allowed to flourish behind the scenes. However, despite the growing number of allegations, there has been little public backlash from other celebrities who have been tied to Diddy's inner circle. While individuals like Gene Deal have spoken out, others have remained silent, possibly out of fear of retaliation. This silence speaks volumes about the power dynamics at play within the entertainment industry. Celebrities like Diddy, Oprah, and others in their orbit hold immense influence over public opinion, and they are not afraid to use that power to protect themselves. In fact, according to Deal, the fear of speaking out against such powerful figures is so great that many people who attended Diddy's parties and witnessed the abuse have chosen to stay quiet in order to protect their own careers and reputations. As Deal points out, these individuals are unlikely to come forward and denounce Diddy or Oprah, as doing so could ruin their own brands and careers. Oprah's complicated legacy: a history of allegations and cover-ups. As the allegations surrounding Oprah continue to unfold, her legacy as a philanthropist and advocate for women's rights is coming under intense scrutiny. Oprah's role in the establishment of the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa has long been one of her most lauded achievements. The academy was intended to provide young women from disadvantaged backgrounds with the opportunity to succeed, but it has also been embroiled in controversy. In 2007, allegations surfaced that one of the school's employees had been involved in inappropriate behavior with the young girls attending the academy. The employee was charged with 13 counts of abuse, and some of the girls allegedly were groomed for exploitation. Although Oprah went on record to express her concerns and launched an investigation, the employee was later cleared of any wrongdoing. Some have speculated that Oprah may have played a role in covering up the situation, casting doubt on her commitment to protecting vulnerable individuals. If the new allegations that Oprah helped groom young girls for Diddy's parties turns for the marginalized. Dr. Omar Johnson, a prominent social activist and psychologist, has also weighed in on the Oprah situation, offering a critical perspective on her connections to powerful figures like Diddy and Harvey Weinstein. Dr. Johnson has long been outspoken about the exploitation of marginalized communities in Hollywood and beyond, and he believes that Oprah's ties to these figures represent a larger issue of power dynamics. She worked her way up through local news stations, ultimately landing her own talk show in 1986, The Oprah Winfrey Show. It was here that Oprah's unique ability to connect with people on an emotional level truly shone. Oprah's show became known for its candid, heartfelt interviews with celebrities, thought leaders, and ordinary people sharing extraordinary epitome of self-made success, and the idea that anyone could achieve greatness with hard work and determination. The darker side, Hollywood's elite, and Oprah's controversial connections. However, as Oprah's public image grew, so did the scrutiny surrounding her associations with powerful figures in Hollywood. Over the years, Oprah has formed connections with some of the industry's most controversial individuals, including media mogul Diddy, Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein, and financier Jeffrey Epstein. While Oprah has consistently portrayed herself as a beacon of light, promoting values like kindness and justice, these associations have raised. Deal has claimed that Oprah played an active role in facilitating Diddy's notorious parties, which are said to have been gathering places for powerful individuals to engage in illegal activities. These parties, which were allegedly attended by some of the most famous names in Hollywood, have been described as breeding grounds for exploitation, with vulnerable individuals being mistreated by those in positions of power. Deal's revelation. Oprah's response, silence and denial. Despite the gravity of the allegations, Oprah has remained largely silent on the matter, offering no public response to the claims made by Deal and others. This silence has only fueled further speculation about her involvement in the activities that have been linked to Diddy and other influential figures. While Oprah has built her empire on being open, vulnerable, and relatable, her refusal to address these serious allegations has raised questions about her true intentions and whether she is hiding something darker beneath her public persona. Oprah's silence is particularly concerning in light of her history of supporting causes that are directly opposed to the types of activities she is now being accused of facilitating. As a vocal advocate for women's rights, education, and empowerment, Oprah has long positioned herself as an ally to the oppressed. Her refusal to publicly address these allegations calls into question her commitment to the very principles she has spent decades championing. If the accusations are true, Oprah's actions could be seen as a betrayal of the very values she claims to stand for. Shannon Sharpe, the unlikely hero and Hollywood's boogeyman. While Oprah's connections to Diddy and other influential figures have raised questions, there is another individual in the entertainment world who has been making waves with his outspoken criticism of Hollywood's elite, Shannon Sharpe, claiming that those who speak out against the system are often silenced or punished. Sharpe's platform, which has become one of the most popular in the sports commentary world, has allowed him to reach a wide audience, including many individuals from the everyday Black community. His success has made him a formidable figure, one that even the Hollywood elite may have difficulty silencing. Sharp's comments about Oprah and other members of Hollywood's elite are not just a criticism of their actions, but a call to action for those who are still under the control of these powerful figures. He encourages people to embrace their power and not be afraid to speak out against the injustices that occur behind closed doors. Sharp has openly challenged the Hollywood establishment, positioning himself as the boogeyman of black entertainment. He has suggested that if Hollywood wants to label him as such, then he will embrace the role. Oprah, accusing them of using their power to manipulate others and maintain their control over Hollywood. Williams's criticism of Oprah is particularly pointed, as he has claimed that Oprah's rise to power was not due to her talent or hard work, but rather through strategic relationships with influential individuals like Diddy. Williams has also suggested that Oprah may be Oprah, grooming and exploitation. One of the most troubling allegations against Oprah involves her role in the grooming of young girls for Diddy's parties. According to some sources, Oprah may have played a direct role in bringing vulnerable young women to these events, where they were allegedly mistreated and exploited. This claim is particularly shocking given Oprah's long-standing public advocacy for women and children, as well as questions. The darker side of Hollywood. Allegations against Oprah and Diddy. The recent investigation into Diddy's alleged criminal activities has reignited concerns about Oprah's possible involvement with the mogul's illicit operations. Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, has spoken out about the relationship between Oprah and Diddy, suggesting that Oprah was not just a passive observer of Diddy's behavior, but an active participant in facilitating his notorious parties. Deal's testimony paints a chilling picture of Hollywood's elite network, where powerful individuals allegedly conspire to exploit vulnerable women and conceal their actions behind a veil of influence. For many of Oprah's longtime supporters, these allegations are a shock. Oprah's public persona has been built on values of empathy and integrity. She has long positioned herself as a figure who uplifts others, particularly marginalized communities. To think that Oprah may have played a role in the same exploitation that has been linked to other Hollywood figures is a painful revelation. The idea that someone who has championed social justice could be involved in these dark dealings has left many feeling deceived and heartbroken. Shannon Sharpe and the Black community, a critic of Hollywood's elites. Shannon Sharpe, a prominent sports commentator and former NFL player, has become one of Hollywood's most vocal critics. Sharpe's platform, Undisputed, which he co-hosts with Skip Bayless, has gained a massive following.